Hi, today we're going to hear the story of Helga's Dowery, a troll love story. Pictures and Stories by Tomie dePaola. This is a story about a troll girl who's an orphan. An orphan is a boy or girl whose parents are no longer alive. The rule for troll ladies is that they must get married or wander the earth alone forever. But before she gets married, Helga must have something called a dowry. A dowry is property or money the bride or the girl brings into the marriage for her husband and her to begin their new life. Helga, being an orphan, has no father to give her a dowry and decides to earn one so that she can marry Lars, the most handsome troll man in the parish. Here are the meanings of some of the words that you will hear to help you understand the story better. Parish is another name for a town. Vain is a person who thinks that they're pretty awesome at everything. Juvalescent means that you want to stay young looking. And labor are people that you pay to do work for you. Psst, keep an eye out for the man in the pink clothes that's spying on everything Helga does. Let's get started. Helga's Dowry, a troll love story. Story and Pictures by Tomie dePaola. Helga was the loveliest troll in 3 parishes, but alas, having been orphaned as a troll child, she was also the poorest. So when handsome Lars asked for her hand in marriage, Helga said, "But Lars, I don't have a dowry. How can we marry without one? It is the law." "Don't worry," said Lars with moonstruck eyes. "I'll ask old rich Sven. He might have an idea." Well, old rich Sven did have an idea. "Lars, my boy, you should marry my daughter, plain Inga." Lars laughed and laughed until old Sven counted out Inga's dowry. 30 cows, 3 chests of gold, and a mountain pasture, he said. "She'll make you a good troll wife and the richest troll in the land, except for the Troll King, of course." Plain Inga was so thrilled with the idea of becoming Lars's wife that she ran around telling everyone, including Helga. When Helga heard the news, she burst into tears and caused a thunderstorm. "I'm sorry, Helga," said Lars. "You'll always have a special place in my heart, but you know how important it is for a troll man to be rich, especially a handsome one." Poor Helga! Didn't One-Eye Odin say 1,000 years ago from his heavenly throne that all unmarried troll maidens must wander the earth forever? She sat beneath the troll bridge to think. "Oh, pish," she said at last. "Why should I sit here and pout? I'm a troll, and a clever one at that. I'll just go out and earn myself a dowry." So Helga wrote a note to Lars and asked him please to wait for her. Then she put some troll things from her cupboard into a cart, tucked up her tail, stepped into some high-soled shoes, and went hopping down the mountain to the land of the people. "Some people are lazy, some people are vain, some people are greedy, it's all Helga's gain," she hummed to herself as she clomped along. "Ah, here's a good place to start," said Helga, looking at the piles of laundry. "And no smoke coming out of the wash-house chimney either." "Any laundry for a poor washerwoman?" Helga asked the farm wife, who was sunning herself. "I certainly have," said the farm wife. "What do you charge?" Helga spied the cows in the pasture. "Do you want to take a chance?" Helga asked. "If I don't finish all that laundry by sundown, you won't owe me a penny. But if I do, you must pay me 35 cows." "Ironing, too?" asked the farm wife. "Of course," said Helga. Nothing like free laundry, hummed the farm wife, as she heaped even more laundry on the mountains of dirty clothes. A lazy farm wife sittin' in the sun, troll powder in the water, and the wash is done. Troll wax on the iron, and the wrinkles are flat. Helga has her cows, and that is that, sang Helga, climbing up the mountain with her cows. Now for the gold, said Helga the next morning as she put on a turban and a fancy cloak. She piled 4 wooden chests on the cart and went rumbling down the mountain to the people's marketplace. "Be young and beautiful again," cried Helga, "all for an ounce of gold." The ladies of the town, and a few men too, dropped gold earrings, bracelets, watches, chains, and lockets into the scales. "Rub this juvalescent cream all over your face, wait a few minutes, and look," said Helga, passing out jars and mirrors to her customers. "I'll take 3," said one woman excitedly. "Nothing like being young and beautiful again," said a man. "Rub a little troll grease on the chin and cheek, polish up a troll mirror, and then take a peek. Find some vain people who hate looking old, and Helga's 4 chests are filled with gold," trilled Helga, pushing her cart home. "And now the hardest task of all," she said, walking down the mountain early the next day. She knocked on the door of the rich man's house. "All those trees on your mountain there could make you twice as rich," Helga said. "Twice as rich?" the man asked. "Well, if they were logs, cut and split," said Helga. "Madam, it would take 100 men to do such work. Do you know what labor costs?" "I'll make you a bargain then," said Helga. "If I can clear those trees all in a week, will you give me the land they're on?" "Madam, you're a woman," explained the man. "So what?" said Helga. "And a loony one at that," said the man to himself. "But it's worth a try. Nothing like free labor." "Oh, what luck to find a greedy man! And now I'll chop as fast as I can. I'll swing my troll axe so sharp and fine, and that mountain pasture will soon be mine," warbled Helga. She chopped and chopped, but the forest seemed to grow larger every day that Helga worked. "I'd almost think that there was trollery afoot," said Helga, pausing to catch her breath. "There is," said a tree with a laugh that shook all its branches. "Plain Inga," said Helga. "I see you're out here trying to earn a dowry," bellowed Inga, who had turned herself into a tree. "A dowry earned is as good as a dowry given," shouted back Helga. "Well, I'll make sure there's no dowry earned," yelled Tree Inga. "Besides, our wedding is tomorrow. Lars couldn't wait." That did it. Helga was furious. "I'll turn you into kindling wood," cried Helga, who promptly turned herself into a boulder. Rolling down the mountainside, Boulder Helga headed for Tree Inga, but Tree Inga just moved aside. Madder than ever, Boulder Helga rolled up the mountain to get a better start. But when she came tumbling down again, Tree Inga moved aside once more. All day the battle raged. The air was filled with flying timber. Then suddenly it was quiet. Helga changed back into herself again, and Tree Inga shook with laughter. "Giving up?" she asked. "You'll see," answered Helga, walking off to the rich man's house. The rich man could not believe his eyes. The mountainside was completely cleared of trees, except for one. "That one will be gone before the day is over," said Helga, She has to get to a wedding." "She? A wedding?" the rich man asked. "Yes," said Helga, "and then the mountain pasture will be mine." The rich man had to agree. "Oh, Helga, my dearest one," said Lars, who came running when he heard the news, "your dowry is even larger than Inga's, and I love you more than ever. There will be a wedding tomorrow, but it won't be Inga's." "And it won't be mine either," cried Helga. "I wouldn't marry you if you were the last troll on earth. I'd rather be doomed to wander forever than be your wife. You never planned to wait for me. I want to be loved for who I am, not for what I've got." "Then marry me, for I already love you for who you are," said a voice behind them. "Besides, I have no need for riches." The next day there were 2 weddings. "Here comes the bride, all dressed in green," sang the Trolls. "Our king is getting married, and Helga is our queen." The end.